वत्सवंशक वासराघवगिरोस्तनयं ततश्च विद्या अवाप्य विबुधोत्तमतां दधानि पूर्वे सदा हृदि गुरुं करुणाकराख्यं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयां न मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं तनुमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिप्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। We were discussing about existence and non-existence, about Akasha, how although we accept Akasha to be spread out everywhere, we do not say that this Prakrita Akasha is existing in Sri Vaikuntha, because the Panchabhutas were at some point of time created, whereas the Nitya Vibhuti that is in Sri Vaikuntha, that is not created. So the Nitya Vibhuti there is Shuddha Sattva, whereas whatever is here is Mishra Sattva with Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the Nayayikas, when they said that Akasha is eternal, we did not accept it. We said, no, it is not eternal. Today, science is also saying space expands. Space can also expand, contract and everything. They say when the universe was formed, there was this thing called the Big Bang, where everything spread out. So they say that space also expanded. It is not like there was vacuum everywhere and matter started expanding. Space itself started expanding, right? And before that, everything was in such a subtle state that you cannot distinguish anything properly. Then some kind of an explosive event happened. This is what science has said. Vishishtadvaitha, which has said that the Karana of Srishti, the Karta, Bhagavan, how is he? He is Sukshma Chidachit Vishishta. With all the Jivats, all the Jivatman, and also the entirety of the non-living, whatever you call it, matter, pre-matter, whatever you call it, all of that present in an infinitesimally small area or volume that we call as Sukshma. So from Sukshma, he made it Sthula. So this has been said by us. And in this regard, we are able to not only reason with logic, we are also able to cite the scripture. To the Nayayika, citing the scripture works. But to the Vaisheshika, citing the scripture will not work, because for him only Pratyaksha and Anumana are Pramanas. Therefore, when the Vaisheshikas argue that directions should also be taken as Dravyas, we say no, Dravya is defined in a different way. As per that definition, your direction will not be a Dravya. So, direction is not an existing entity. Direction is a qualification that is given to identify the route to go and attain a specific region of space, or to identify a region of space itself. So Kashmir is in the north, Kanyakumari is in the south. That way. Therefore, it does not qualify as an entity. Now, this sounds very, very logical. What is the big deal? What is the Vishishtadvaitha part here? The Vishishtadvaitha part here is that there are two things. Firstly, these things have already been taught in the Siddhanta. The second thing is that as it has been present in Vishishtadvaita, secondly, it is different from what has been taught in some other schools, which is why we gave examples of how the Charvakas talk about non-existence of Akasha and how certain schools of Buddhism talk about the non-existence of Akasha. Buddhism has so many schools. Whenever somebody makes a statement like, as per Buddhism, this is true, be very cautious because there are so many different schools of Buddhism. Likewise, if somebody says, as per Hinduism, as per Sanatana Dharma, be cautious. It is not necessary that they are wrong, but chances are high that they are referring to one particular school. For example, it is often said that as per Vedanta, Atma is only one. No, the correct statement should be, as per Advaita Vedanta, Atma is only one. The very essence of Vedanta, as per Advaita Vedanta, is that Atma is only one. As per Vishishtadvaita, Atma is not one. There are infinite Atma. One Paramatma is there. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam. We have seen that. So, what is common in Vedanta? You could say, as per Vedanta, body is different from the Atma. You could say that. But what exactly is the relationship, or what exactly is the difference between them? When these kinds of questions come, the different schools of Vedanta would speak differently. And furthermore, there are schools outside of Vedanta that also comment on similar things. For example, Buddhism, Jainism, they are also going to talk because they also believe concepts like rebirth and reincarnation, something that is not existent in foreign religions like, let us say, Islam or Christianity. In Christianity, Jesus comes back, but they don't say that the ordinary human will also take birth again on earth. So there are lots of common things and there are lots of differences. As far as the school of Vishishtadvaita is concerned, it is very ancient. We have seen that it is there since the time of the Vedas itself, because the Vedas have statements of Vishishtadvaita. And Ramayana and Puranas have also been cited in this regard. Vishnu Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Valmiki Ramayana, then you have Mahabharata also. So many Itihasa Puranas, they have all spoken about Vishishtadvaita. In later times, we saw many Alvars. I say in later times, we saw many Alvars because as per tradition, not all Alvars were born in recent times. Okay. The Alvars were born since ancient times, as per our tradition, as per how they explain in tradition. As per the modern historians, the Alvars all existed only sometime, somewhere close to Shankara Bhagavad Pada. How do they do it? I don't understand. But they attribute similar timelines to all sorts of Vedanta thoughts. And even for this school of Bhakti. So when they say there was something called a Bhakti movement, maybe if they imply that large numbers of people started following Bhakti, they would be correct. But if they are to say that these ideas originated there, That would be very wrong. Therefore, when we say about how Bhagavan was Jagat Karana, or when we say something about the bhutas, tanmatras, and so on, no matter what it is that we are explaining, or when we talk about the dravyatva of tamas and so on, whatever we are saying as per Vishishtadvaitha was not brought out by Bhagavad Ramanuja, by himself. They were brought out by him as well as other acharyas based on the works of Purvacharyas. That is very, very important for us to understand. The Alvars, they came through their own special births. We say they are incarnations of Nitya Suris who took birth here to teach the meanings of the Vedas in Tamil. So whatever has been stated by the Alvars, it is not new. It is consistent with whatever is there in the Veda. It is not something new that has not been said anywhere in the Veda, that has been added by the Alvars. So for various statements that you find, be it in Perumal Tirumozhi or Tiruvaimozhi or Tirupavai or whatever, you would find references. Many times you would find direct references in the Vedas. Sometimes it would be indirect. Many times you would find direct references in scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Bhagavatam is very important for us because Bhagavatam is considered to be a natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, the second Vedanta Sutra. The first sutra being Athato Brahma Jignasa. The second sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. You open Srimad Bhagavatam and see how it begins. It will begin with Janmadhyasya Yataha. What is that sutra trying to talk about? It is talking about that Brahman from whom Janmadi all happened, implying that he is the creator, preserver, destroyer, all of that. Janma, Thema, Bhanga. So, Srimad Bhagavatam has lots of citations. Now there is an argument. Some people come and say, your Shri Bhashyakara has not cited Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is relatively new. It was created only 1000 years ago. The first reference to Bhagavatam comes from Jayadeva's Gita Govinda and so on. But we do not see it. We consider Bhagavatam to be extremely ancient. We see it to be completely consistent with whatever is said in the other Satvika Puranas and said in the Vedas as well. And therefore, you would find bhashyas of Srimad Bhagavatam composed by the Matatrayi. You will find Advaitin going and commenting on Bhagavatam. You will find Vishishtadvaitin doing it. You would find Dvaitin also doing it. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is 100% accepted by us. There is no doubt about authentic Sri Vaishnavas not accepting Srimad and the Krishna cult being of a later existence or anything like that. We don't say it. As a matter of fact, Bhagavad Ramanuja himself is taken to be an incarnation of. So what do we say? We say Adau Jagadadharaha Sheshaha Adano Sumitra Nandana Veshaha Tadupari Dhritahala Musala Veshaha Tadanantaram Abhavat Guru Reshaha. So Adau Jagadadharaha Sheshaha, that Adi Sesha, who since time immemorial has been the Adhara of the entire Jagat, as explained in the Vedic scriptures and Itihasas and so on. He later came as Lakshmana, the brother of Rama. And it is explained that Balarama, who is many times popularly called a partial expansion, especially if you go to Gaudiyas, they will and ask them, can Balarama is also Bhagavan, Krishna is also Bhagavan. Why can't we worship Balarama? No, they will say, no, that is a partial expansion. This is a complete expansion. Ete chamshakala sarvaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So he came as Balarama. Ritahala Musala Visheshaha. Tadanantaram Abhavat Guru Reshaha. Then he came as Jagadguru Ramanujacharya. So the words of Balarama, the words of Lakshmana, they are all taken as pramana by us. The story of Krishna, to understand it completely, you would need Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavata. Of course, there are some extra stories mentioned in the Puranas and even in the Agamas. But if you want to know the life events, you would get the maximum quantity of information from just these two sources, Mahabharatam and Srimad Bhagavatam. Based on these, you would find that Swami Deshika has composed Yadavabhyudayam. Yadavabhyudayam is such a wonderful work that talks about Krishna. It talks about his birth, it talks about his growth. Such beautiful things are explained. So, for the Shri Vaishnava, there is no such thing as Vishnu being superior to Krishna or Krishna being superior to Vishnu. Vishnu is indeed called as an avatara, but is also called as an avatari, the one who takes avatars. Yudhishthira asked Bhishma, Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kimvapyekam Parayanam. Bhishma, when answering, said, Anadi Nidhanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So, it is that we take Vishnu to be Paramatma, but that Vishnu is only Krishna. That Vishnu is only Rama. It is the same way in which it is explained in the school of Advaita in the context of avatars. Now, there comes a question about Amsha. Ete chamshakala sarvaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This statement that exists in Srimad Bhagavatam. How many are Amshas? How many avatars are Amshas? How many are not Amshas? In this regard, we have a difference when compared to, for example, Vallabhas and Gaudiyas. The Vallabhas who follow Shuddhadvaita and the Gaudiyas who follow Achintya Bheda Bheda, they have differences with our school. This Vishishtadvaita school is so ancient and has been so well developed that so many people of other sampradayas have cited its shlokas to explain their own sampradayas as well. And on top of that, the latest sampradayas that are springing up, they are all also trying to claim affiliation to Vishishtadvaita. Among the Vaishnava sampradayas, you would see this trend. But when you look at the core of Vishishtadvaita, we do not say that you have to learn that from Mula Prakriti there was Mahat and Ahankara. We do not say that it is necessary for you to learn these things. These things are there. We say this is how it came. Yes, we don't deny it. But what do? We say, look, it is very important for us Mahat, which is called great, right? It is the first stage that is attained by Mula Prakriti. This Mahat helps the Atma to take decisions, and therefore it is also called Buddhi. This Mahat is coming from Mula Prakriti. Mula Prakriti itself has three gunas, all mixed up: Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. Therefore, Mahat is also of three types: Sattvika, Rajasa, and Tamasa. From Mahat, Ahankara is born. Therefore, when I say born, it means that transformation happens. Therefore, Ahankara also has Sattvika, Rajasa, and Tamasa types. Why do we call it Ahankara? Because it is due to Ahankara that we start getting the sense of existence in association with our bodies. We have discussed about Mahat and Ahankara before, but we need to understand here that Ahankara, in general, it means what? Ego. Oh, I am so great. That kind of attitude. Is that what we are referring to? No, no. This is different. But why do we use Ahankara? Ahankara means what? It has that aham, right? I. What is that I? No, it is the sense of existence. The sense of existence that you get. Okay, but isn't the sense of existence inherent to the jiva as dharmic jnana? No, that dharmic jnana is with regards to the existence of the self, but not the existence of the self in relation to the body. When I say existence of the self in relation to the body, what I mean is that we think this is me. I am getting hurt. I am, I am growing up very quickly. How? I drink Complan, I grow up quickly. One boy says in the advertisement. How do we understand it? The Atma is not growing. The body is growing. But he has a sense of the self which is misguided. It is misguided towards the body, which is made of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Therefore, this sense, how did this sense come? This sense came because of some tattva called as ahankara. So the tattva that gave birth to the sense of the self, the sense of identification of the triguna, this trigunatmaka sharira, we are taking that to be the self. That tattva is called ahankara. Now this ahankara, we said, that is also of three types, correct? Rajasa ahankara will have only one role. It will help the Sattvika ahankara. Sattvika ahankara will give rise to your sense organs. Which organs? 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and 1 manas. That manas is the mind, right? We are doing a kind of a recap of the previous classes. Now this mind is what does decision making. In that decision making, Mahat is helping, remember. Now this mind works, okay. This mind is also often associated with the body. The mind is different from the body. Remember that famous verse of Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Manobuddhyahankara, he starts, right? What is he trying to explain? I am not manas, I am not buddhi, I am not ahankara. Implying I am not manas. Manas is an indriya. I am not buddhi, that is I am not mahat. And I am not ahankara, that is the product of mahat. So we are not these things. The Atma is different. How does the Atma get bound? What is the purpose of learning about all of these things? From Satvika Ahankara, all of these things came. From Tamasa Ahankara, all of those things came. How does it benefit us to learn about these things? We have to understand that. So, this mind, because it is what takes decisions, and Mahat is helping it to take decision. The mind is what thinks, I am this, I am that, and so on. So, for these kinds of reasons, the mind itself is addressed by words like buddhi and ahankara. So, we should be a little careful what are we referring to. Sometimes the word buddhi would mean mind, sometimes it would not mean the mind. We should be a little careful. Now, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all of these are taken in, grasped by using our sense organs, right? Our jnanendriyas. So, what happens is this kind of a perception creates bondage. What should the mind focus on? The mind should focus on things that do not lead to bondage. Think of those things that help you to stay away from bondage. It is said that when a person takes sannyasa ashrama, that person should come out of all forms of bondage, especially that of his relatives, right? Especially his wife, children, and other such people. Bhagavad Ramanuja, when he took sannyasa, he declared, I have no relative except for these two people. What is this except for these two people? How can you say you have no relatives except for two people? You are supposed to declare when taking sannyasa ashrama that you have no relative. But you are saying you have two relatives. How is it fair? No. Those two relatives are of what kind? They are spiritually related to me. Therefore, for instance, Nadadu Radwan, who was the sister's son of Bhagavad Ramanuja, he is quite close to Bhagavad Ramanuja. How can you be close to your relative after taking sannyasa? I am close not as a blood relative, but as a spiritual relative. Because thinking of people like him would lead to more spiritual thought. It would lead to more thinking about Bhagavan and thinking about those kinds of auspicious things. It would not lead to bondage. So the purpose of sannyasa ashrama is to take you away from worldly bondage. It is not meant to take you away from the very goal of all the ashramas. So, we should therefore control the mind. When the mind is bound to the senses, it causes bondage. How? A person goes to a shop, he sees some beautiful jewelry. It is his wedding day. He thinks, oh, I want to surprise my wife. This looks beautiful. He is looking at some piece of jewelry and he thinks, look, this looks beautiful. Looks like a very ordinary scene, right? What is wrong here? We are not saying that this is sinful, but we are saying that it is a cause of bondage. His eyes see that jewelry, that piece of jewelry, necklace or whatever, and then he feels, oh, this is very beautiful. He feels attracted to it, and he feels that his wife would also feel attracted to it. And as he is attracted to his wife, he thinks attracting his wife with this would attract her to him more. This is how his mind is thinking. Look at how it is getting bound. Now he goes there. He inquires about the price. They say it is 5 lakh rupees. He checks his wallet. He does not have that much money. So when he took the necklace and felt it in his hand, he felt great. When he looked at it, he felt great. But now he is looking at the same piece of jewelry, but with the extra thinking that he doesn't have the money to buy it. So whatever gave pleasure to him suddenly starts giving him pain. Oh no, I don't have enough money. I had enough money with which I could buy this. I wish I had enough money with which I could buy this and please my wife. I don't have that much money. Now he feels sad. What has changed? The piece of jewelry is the same. Nothing has changed. Everything is going on in his mind. When he thought he could buy, he was happy. Now things he cannot buy it, he feels sad. Why? Because the mind has entangled itself. The mind has become bound. But if he starts changing himself, we are not saying that husband should not buy anything for the wife. The Dharma Shastras very much say the husband should buy for the wife, should keep her properly, should keep her happy. Everything is said in the Dharma Shastras. That is not a problem. But when you should do it as Dharma, as ordained by Bhagavan, so that it pleases Bhagavan. Bhagavan is doing this, Bhagavan is making me do it as a service for himself. Think in that way, you will not get bound. If you don't think about Bhagavan, if you don't think about Bhagavat Kainkarya, and you think only about the necklace, then you will be bound by this happiness and sadness. So, you should get out of that. That is the teaching. So, we have 5 karmendriyas. We have already seen, right? We have 5 jnanendriyas also. We are seeing that there is a fundamental connection between the Panchabhutas and the Pancha Indriyas. So the Pancha Indriyas are related. Now, we should understand a few more things. The same organs, the same 11 organs, the 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and that one manas, they operate differently in different beings. Therefore, we cannot take individual experiences as correct by themselves. So suppose we want to study about the Tema and Banga that we were talking about earlier, the creation, preservation, destruction. How would you understand it? You would understand it using the help of the Shastras. That is how you should be. So you should be driven towards the study of the Shastras. We said that Jada, which is basically Achetan, Achetana, we say, it is of three types. You might remember from our previous classes. We said Prakriti, Kala, and Shuddha Sattva. Now, this Kala is not bound by the gunas. Think about it. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna, Kala is Kala. It keeps going, doesn't stop. So, it is independent of whatever happened in the past, whatever is happening right now, and whatever is going to happen in the future. You can imagine it to be some physical wheel that stops at some point of time, but it is not physical. So, this Kala is very important. The nature of Kala is to keep us deluded and away from Bhagavan as per our karma. So, no matter what, the best way is to pray to Bhagavan. Should understand that. Shuddha Sattva simply means pure Sattva, which is not mixed with Rajoguna and Tamoguna. When mixed that way, we call it Prakriti. Therefore, we have Prakriti, Kala, and Shuddha Sattva. Now, Shuddha Sattva is unlike the Prakrita Mishra Sattva. It is superior. So, when the Jivatma attains a Shuddha Sattva body, you should understand that it is in the state of moksha. If you just realize the fundamental nature of, let us say, Shuddha Sattva, then Swami Deshika is telling, even the abodes of Chaturmukha Brahma would be like hell. Why is that so? The Chaturmukha Brahma, who has his own abode at Satyaloka, if it is going to prevent me from going to attain moksha, it will be taken as a smoke. It will be taken as something that blocks my vision. Smoke that blocks your vision, right? Blocks the clarity of thought, or sometimes prevents you from moving forward. So that should be taken as a bad, undesirable trait. That needs to be understood. Now, the Nityasuris, his eternal bodies, the ornaments, the weapons he has, and the gopuras of several temples. That is taken as Bhagavan's dasas. Therefore, therefore, we should understand how these work so that we are able to use our knowledge to avoid the misunderstandings. When one does not understand his original Swarupa and identifies with his own body, he fails to understand that he is Bhagavad Dasa. That is a problem. Therefore, a person who does not have enough faith, such a person will not be able to progress much. We have to understand that as well. Now, the Jivatma is distinct from Paramartha. Why don't we discuss about an actual now the Jivatma is not the abode where Ishwar is going to come and hide everything. So far, is there any doubt or can we move on?
Swami, how does Kala delude us exactly?
How does Kala delude us? What is Kala? Time. Time progresses. As time progresses, you should become a better and better and better bhakta that in some time you attain moksha itself. But do you? Simple as that.
Swami, why buddhi is equated with mind in some statements? Can you please explain?
How do you use your buddhi? Buddhi, what do you translate it as? Intellect. You tell me, how do you use your intellect? Only by using the mind. Therefore, mind itself is called as intellect.
Under
Anything else? Oh, it is the same. Can I have your contact number, please? Okay, I will share with you after the class. You can ask Swati ji, she will share with you.
okay.
So there is a single Jivatman that is running the body. That single Jivatman is associated with all these Indriyas. These Indriyas are helping it to perceive. That single Atma is controlling the Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, both. What we need to understand in specific is that in reality, the Jivatma is also unhindered by these kinds of qualities. Having a form, having a friend, having relatives, all of those people whose presence adds to your decision making because you think these are my friends, these are not my friends. All of those thoughts, they come only because of Atma Tattva, understanding that the Atma is different. I am the Atma, but I am not this body. This level of understanding is very important in people. At that time, as Bhagavan said, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan is the Lord of all. He is the Lord and controller of all. One of the meanings of this Ashtakshara mantra itself signifies that we exist only for Him. The Pranava itself is explained that way. We exist only because of Him. We exist only for Him. So this is important for us to understand. Now these Jivatmas who are classified into Baddha, Nitya and Mukta. Nityas are too few, let us ignore them. But Baddha and Mukta are there. But those who are identifying at a cafe that I am liberated, those who are identifying at a hotel that I am liberated, I have attained moksha, are you going to believe them? So there are plenty of Baddhas who also pretend to be Muktas. This becomes a problem. In Vishishtadvaitha, we do not have a middle level for shredding. We have the explanation in a very clear way. The Jivana Mukta concept, as explained in Advaita, does not exist here. So you are either a Baddha, a person who is bound, or you are a Nitya, who is eternally there as a Nitya Suri in service of Bhagavan, or you are a Mukta, who has attained moksha. There is no stage where you have shredded all your karmas but are still living here without attaining moksha. Such a stage does not come. Therefore, Baddhas are subject to avidya. Baddhas are bound by karma. Baddhas are bound by time. All of that happens. So they experience lots of pleasure and lots of pain. Then there are some others who try to travel in the path of Bhagavan. So by following the Shastras and paying due respect to these people, one has to live. But what happens many times, this intent to seek knowledge the ideal way does not exist. People want freedom from samsara sagara, but when we say this is the procedure to get freedom, follow it, they will also say, oh, I never knew. There are rules to break free from samsara. If you run away freely, you will not break free from samsara. That is a very important thing for us. Bhagavan himself is praised in the Vedas. His divine feet are also praised in the Vedas. Tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam, said Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita. So he is not affected by anything. That Bhagavan is identified with Sriman Narayana, who is always there, along with Shri. By surrendering to him, we can get moksha in the fastest way. So, it is important for us to know about whatever we were seeing, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi, then these senses, and then finally him understanding that knowing about these things is actually going to help us to get better and approach Bhagavan in a faster way. He is the Sarva Sheshi. He is the Sarva Shariri. Whatever condition I am having in neurology, he is the cause of all the conditions. He is Vedanta Vedya, as declared by the Acharyas of Vishishtadvaitha. He is the one praised by the Vedanta parts. So, we should have respect for Bhagavan. That is very important for us. So, with this, I will conclude today's lecture. If you have any question or doubt, please feel free to ask. So, I return to the concept after seeing all dravyas and how they transform. We have basically returned to what is outside of Prakriti, that is Kala and Shuddha Sattva. In a very short manner we saw. And then we also saw about Jivatma, Baddha Nitya Mukta. This has been explained in depth before, but as a revision, it was taken again. So if you have any question based on whatever was discussed in today's class, please feel free to let me know. If you don't have, we will conclude the class here.
Swami, I have one doubt.
Yes.
So when you explain about the creation as a transformation in that class, so you called the Bhagwan Sarira is getting transformed and this Prakriti is made out. So there I have some doubts on Sarira Sarira Bhava. So if you can explain that Sarira Sarira Bhava, and because there is one doubt in it, that how it get transformed and all.
See, Bhagavan is there with this as Sharira. What is this? This is Chit and this is Achit. All of that is his Sharira. Okay. Bhagavan being the Shariri himself, he is independent of them, but he has them as his Sharira. When I say independent, it means he does not depend on them, but they all depend on him for their existence. This is the fundamentals of Sharira Shariri Bhava. You understand this, right? About the definition of the word Sharira, I have already told before, but you understand the implication of Sharira Shariri Bhava, right?
Yes, yes.
So, we are in complete dependence. So, he by himself does not undergo any modification as he is Paramatma, but his Sharira, that undergoes modification. In which way? His Sharira has this Sukshma state of Prakriti that is made into Sthula. This Mula Prakriti, which is so messed up that you cannot distinguish any entity in it. What is Bhagavan doing? He is making things specific. So from Mula Prakriti, there is Mahat, there is Ahankara, then there is Panchabhutas, Karmendriyas, Panchajnanendriyas. You have Manas. You have all of these things, right? So he is making them distinguishable. Therefore, he is not getting transformed. But his Sharira, that is Prakriti, that is getting transformed. Now this transformed Prakriti, these Bhutas, Panchabhutas have come. The Panchabhutas are again mixed to create specific entities. Therefore, even the human body is made up of Panchabhutas, not just one Bhuta. You know, in Islam, for example, they say man was created from the soil. We say the physical, your body might have come from there, but do you know you have Prithvi, but you also have water, you also have air. There are vital airs inside the body. You stop breathing, you will die. So you have air, you have the element of fire, the heat is there, that is how digestion is happening. You are occupying space, correct? Akasha is there, Vayu is there, Agni is there, Apa is there, Prithvi is there. So we are all, the human body is also a combination of all of these. So this combination, this particular combination that is of use to jivas, what you call as living body, this is created by Bhagavan. When we say create, what does it mean? He transformed it from some other state to this state. That's all. How did your body come? My body was made up of What? My body was created in my mother's womb. She was eating food. The food that she consumed, that became my physical body. Then I also started consuming food and water. Then my physical body also started growing. So whatever you eat, that food is only becoming your body. Correct? That is a transformation. So in any way you see, you will find a transformation happening from some form to another form. Is it clear? But the fact that we got usable bodies, when we get a usable body, my Jivatma got a usable body some decades back. Now what is it called? It is called a living being. This process of getting a body is what we call as creation. Oh, he created me. What does it mean he created you? Prakriti was in Sukshma Sthiti even before. Jivatma is also Anadi. What did he create? He has not created anything. Remember, Advaita also says Atma never created, Atma never destroyed anything, Atma never created anything. We also say Paramatma never created, Paramatma never destroyed. But what do we imply when we say created and destroyed? That needs to be understood. Is it clear now?
Yes, Swami. So the chief and Chief both get transformed, and this transform was made by Bhagavan, Ishvara. Am I right?
Yes, by his will, transformations have happened.
Okay, Swami, I got it.
By his will.
Okay. Uh, so, Swami, how can I get your number? Just ask.
That which platform do you know me by? You would have learned about me from some platform, no?
From this only. But few Sri Vaishnavas told me that you are also in that called as. I mean, there was one platform also, but I don't. I know about you only from this platform only. I just
Just
joined
as in
class.
this Zoom session that is being taken here.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know Swati ji, right? If you are attending these classes, you are aware, you are probably part of the group where the announcements are made that there is class today, there is no class today.
Uh, I'm from Discord. I have that from the Discord. I got this link about the class and all.
Do one thing. Swati ji, you are aware online, right?
Yes, Acharya ji.
So please give him the link to your group where you announce about the classes, and
Okay.
also give him my contact number. Okay, but please take his contact number.
Sure,
And
sure. I'll do that.
Swami,
yes,
I have a doubt. Does Nitya Bhuvati also exist in the Sharira of Bhagavan?
everything is his Sharira.
So
If
you
you are,
said,
if you are in Vaikuntha, does it mean that you are not part of his Sharira? No, you are his Sharira even there.
you said Bhagavan is not he himself is not changing, but his Sharira is changing. So Bhagavan is different from his Sharira, or how do we understand this from?
Shariri is different from the Sharira, but Shariri exists along with the Sharira. You think about yourself first. You as the Shariri, referring to the Jivatma, is different from the Sharira, that is the physical body. But when I say you are Jivatma, I will point to you. I will point to your body. Your Jivatma is there along with your body, no? It is not along with somebody else's body. Are you understanding?
Yes, Swami.
Like that, Paramatma is there along with every single thing. Everything other than Paramatma is his Sharira. Is it understood?
Yes.
You think, no, is Nitya Vibhuti part of his Sharira or not? Very simple. What is the definition of Sharira? Think about it. You will understand. Does it match the qualifications required to be called Sharira as per Vishishtadvaitha? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that means it is Sharira. So let us conclude here. Okay. If you have further questions, please ask in the next class. Thank you so much for attending. कवितार्क संहाय कल्याण गुणशालिनी श्रीमते वेंकटेशाय वेदांत गुरवे नमः।
Uh, Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I join the group you was talking
Sure,
about?
sure. Please drop your number in the chat box. I'll add you to that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sharing.
Thank you.